Time to get back into this. It's been a few days since I looked at this last. So here is the tape unit, and here's the broken door. So this will need to be super glued back on. The problem that I have is that, and maybe this is why it was broken, is in order to get it on and get it off, you need to basically push the two ends in to get them over these little lips here. So I'm thinking that if I'm going to try and super glue this back in, it would be better if I actually glued it while it was in place, so I don't have to glue it and then try and get it on, because I think that would just break again. So this has a soft opening or a slow opening mechanism in it, which is just a cog down here that these teeth run into, sort of its gear built into it, and it has this spring to provide the pressure. So when you release it, this cog turns very slowly, and that opens it. It's a bit hard to know, but that cog mechanism seems quite stiff. I wonder if I can remove that. And yeah, okay. Maybe if I can remove that, I could make it a little less stiff. Maybe that's the problem with it. It wasn't opening, so somebody tried to lever it open or something like that and broke it. I think this is the mechanism here. All right. Yep. There's a lot of grease in there. Yeah, so this is an interesting thing. I mean, all it does is just work against the spring, so it opens more slowly. Whoops. Okay. It's just a piece of plastic. That's just all full of grease. It doesn't appear to be any way to adjust the tightness of it. But maybe I could clean out some of this grease, and then maybe that would make it a bit easier to open. So I'll just clean this up just to... Seems like an awful lot in there. I don't know. Maybe I'll just apply some alcohol to it. Isopropyl alcohol. Hopefully that's not going to cause any damage. I do have grease. I went and bought some grease recently. Oh yeah, okay. I think I removed too much grease. But yeah, okay. So the amount of grease that's in there affects how easy it is to turn. I'm guessing that over time perhaps that grease got a bit stiff. That feels much better. Is that now too loose? I just won't know, really. I think I'll let that dry off, and I might just apply... I'll go find my grease, and so we can apply that and see if we can't get it into the perfect amount of tension. Okay, so here it is. Yeah, I know that's a massive amount of grease, but this was all I could find when I went to Bunnings. It's some form of general purpose lithium grease. So hopefully it'll be okay. So need some sort of dibber stick. So this will be interesting. So it was too stiff before. Now that I've removed a whole bunch of grease, it's probably not stiff enough. My assumption is that if I put grease in here it will magically get harder. I don't know, now that I've said it, I'm not even sure that makes any sense. Is it the stiffness of the grease that makes the difference? Probably. It's definitely not done anything. Yeah, that makes me think. Not such a great idea. Just willy-nilly removing all of the grease that was in there. See it's splodging out. Yeah, so I guess it was the viscosity of the grease. Well, what can I say? I mean, it was definitely too much pressure, but now I think there's too little pressure. So when it tries to spring open, oh, I'm pretty sure there's nothing else. There's no other way to increase the tension. Oh, no problem. I mean, I don't care if it flies open, really. So let's just give it a go. What's the worst that can happen, man? Your tape recorder's just out of control. I gotta remember where this thing went. Goes on the inside, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, of course. It doesn't attach to the door. What am I thinking? Clear. It's not too much clearance there. Yep, okay. Well, it doesn't feel too bad to me. Maybe the tighter that you screw it in, the tighter it becomes. No. Well, let's give that a rest. So the idea would be, I think, would be to glue this thing back on while it's in situ. How difficult would that be? Maybe I'll experiment with this by removing the spring first. I'm going to get that off. It's something to get in there with. Bit of pressure on that. Feels like, oh yeah, that's a bit rusty. I don't know whether to soak that into something. I suppose it would make sense that where it snapped off is, you know, where the pressure of the spring was against the plastic. So that's probably, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly where it is. Exactly where it's broken. All right, well, I think the best way to do this would be I need to clean this first. I need to make sure that I've got this the right way. And then I think I would just glue it like that, put it into place, just glue it and pray. I mean, it's only going to snap in exactly the same spot if it doesn't work. The thing about super glue is that some plastics it won't glue. It used to glue all plastics in the olden days, and then they must have changed the formula for plastics, and in some plastics it won't do anything to, and you have to buy a special type of super glue that comes in 2 parts. Anyway, let me find the right gear. Real pain, black plastic. Very difficult to see properly. Yeah, I'm not convinced about whether this will glue properly. I do have a trick up my sleeve. You've seen my video about using tea bags to help glue things, super glue things. It's something that I do. Basically use the tea bag, the fabric in a tea bag, like a form of fiberglassing. Definitely I can do that to strengthen this if it actually does stick, you know. It seems to have done something. As you can see, this is exactly where this is pressing, is where it's broken. I think I shall give that a little bit of time. I think with super glue, don't necessarily have to give it any time to cure, but I am. It's tea time anyway. So I might just leave that and come back. I'm not 100% convinced that's going to do much, but we'll see. Okie dokie. So I've given that a little bit of a rest. Well, it seems to have stuck. So is that all that's needed? Do I just need to insert this down until it catches? Oops. Yeah, I was afraid that was going to happen. Oh. I'm just going to try this. So I've got a bit of the fabric from a tea bag, and I'm just going to put it in there. I'm going to slather on a whole bunch of super glue, and then try and just hold this tightly, and hopefully the fabric is going to soak in the super glue and provide a better join. I could be wrong here. I've done this a number of times and it's worked. So, and the other thing it can do is can actually then sort of manipulate it around the sides. I'll probably do that a bit later. So what you can actually do is just sort of paste it on there and glue it as you would normally do with, say, fiberglass, treating it like fiberglass fiber. Okay, so if I go and apply a bit of super glue to that, it just soaks in. I'm going to do that on the side a couple of times. Actually remove it if you have to. So I don't know how well that's going to come out, but you can see it's like I've fiberglassed over the join. I could keep applying more and more layers if that's suited, but I don't want to do that until I've actually had a go. I mean, if it just snaps, then there's not much I can do about it. I'm not 100% sure that it's going to work. Oh, that's right, I was going to do this in situ. That would have been a bit too difficult. So what I'm going to have to do is bend the other side, try not to put any pressure on the bit that I've just done. Oh, it's in. Anyway, it's in. It opens, closes, it opens, and it's not broken. Good God, is it going to work? I'm back. So I just realized that I lost a whole bunch of footage. So I'm going to do this bit again. I'll just explain to you where we are. So I've put the cassette tape back into the unit. I removed the spring from it because the spring was just causing too much pressure against the spot where we have repaired it. So now it's a manual process to open the tape door and close it. That's okay. So do that. So I've got this old Barbra Streisand tape that I don't care much about, so we use that as a test. We'll need to put some power in this baby. It's on tape. Let's press play. See what happens. Nothing. Sorry if that... Yeah, so there we go, it works. Sorry, so there we go, it works. I'll probably have to blank out all of that because otherwise I get a copyright strike, but yeah, fast forward. Works perfectly. The only thing is that when I want to eject the tape, I have to do it manually. I think I'll end up putting a little bit of a knob on here that lets me open and close it like that anyway. Yeah, so it's just a matter of putting all the other screws back into it and we're right to start using this bad boy. I think after all that effort, we should get Ace a bit of a burl.